Hi, and welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
We hope you guys are having a good Halloween weekend. We realize Halloween's not till Monday. But this is our last chance to celebrate it with you guys. So we hope you guys are having a good, safe weekend. And we just wanted to wish you a happy Halloween. And I'm going to go turn the lights on now because it's too dark in here.
Yes.
I can't see anything. It doesn't look that dark on camera, but you'll see the difference in just a minute. Hang on one sec. We're back with all of our lighting.
Now we can stitch.
Because we're old and we need to be able to see.
Beth is like, I can't even put my thread to the back.
I guess, I'm going first, huh?
Yes.
Okay. I was actually monogamous this week.
But you're always supposed to be monogamous. I mean, you're married.
Well, not that kind of. Because I am not monogamous when it comes to knitting. I usually have, I don't know, I have like 50,000 projects going. But I was very focused this week. I talked about the body of the, I almost didn't bring it because I put it away. I talked about the body of the sweater. Hannah's sweater. Here it is. I got to 17 inches. So that is now a good length. So this is how the body will look. And I started the sleeve. And I brought this book to talk about it. But here's the beginning of the sleeve. And look how different the striping is. Because the sleeve circumference is so small.
It still looks like it
goes. It still goes with it. And I realize it's going to be, I talked about this, so there's nothing, what's going on? Oh, there's nothing I can do about it, but this wider striping will only go to here, and then you join the whole thing and you go back all the way, around the shoulders. So it's going to go fat stripes, skinny stripes right here on the, after the underarm, but
after the underarm, it'll be even skinnier, right?
It'll be even skinnier because you add more circumference.
But it'll look like you did it on purpose.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll look great, and but this is going well. So I wanted to show you this. I talked about it a long time ago, but I'm going to talk about it again. The Sweater Workshop book by Jacqueline Fee. That's where I'm getting the instructions to make this sweater, and that is it's really a sweater without a pattern, although I'm using it like a pattern but it's not specifying stitch numbers, because the way this does it is that it uses Elizabeth Zimmerman's percentage system. And she got permission to use it, and she knew her and everything. So this is my only pattern for this sweater. This is just, I took measurements for the size of the sweater I wanted to make. I did a swatch to determine my stitches per inch of the fabric that I wanted. And using those two calculations, determined all the cast-ons for the whole sweater. So for instance, the gauge for this yarn with these needles is 6 stitches per inch on a number 5 needle. So, and then the measurement of the circumference of that sweater of the body of the sweater, I wanted 39 inches. So 39 times 6 equals 234. So this full circumference all the way around is 234 stitches. So, but then to start it, you start with less stitches on the ribbing. So it's, you figure out 10% of your full stitches and you subtract that. So this ribbing cast on was only 90% of the full stitch for the full circumference, so that it pulls in and gives you that, more fitted ribbing. If you wanted just like a I-cord edge or something, you would just do the full 234 all the way, from the very bottom, but it starts with a ribbing that's 90% smaller. So that's how you determine what to cast on. And then after the cast on edge, you increase to your full measurement, which is the 234 stitches, and you do that all the way up to the armpits. And you just determine how long you want it by how long you want it. And then for the sleeves, so the key number of stitches for the whole sweater is 234. And so that determines you use that number and the percentage to determine how many to cast on for the sleeve ribbing. So this ribbing cast on is only 20% of the key number. So the key number is 234, 20% of that is 48 stitches. So that's how much I cast on here. And then the book has options. I should have marked it, but the book has options for different types of sleeves. This one is a fitted sleeve. This one is semi-fitted. This one is full. This one's she calls fuller, and this is fullest, and this is even fuller fullest. And so I sent this photo to Hannah, and I said, what kind of sleeves would you like? And she determined she wanted the fuller sleeve. So what this does is you make the cuff for 2 inches, and then you actually double the number of stitches. You increase every single stitch around. So you go from 48 to 96. So you double the amount of stitches at the cuff, immediately after the cuff, and then you stitch that wider sleeve like up to the elbow, and then here at the elbow, after the elbow, you decrease up to the upper arm number, which is determined, which is 33% of the thing. So it's all this math, but it's really great. So if you can see, my paper is just full of, I had a bad swatch measurement at the beginning, so I had written out all the numbers, and then I went back and corrected it all, and so it's all scribbled. But so the way this sleeve fits, because it is so full, I have it on this 16-inch needle, so it's compressed up here, so you can't really tell, but as it grows, you can kind of see the fullness of the sleeve on there. So even though, you think, how is it gonna be the right measurement around the sleeve? And she says, if you know your wrists are bigger or they're smaller, you adjust the stitches per inch. I mean, you adjust the stitch number on your cuff. If you have really giant wrists or you have really tiny wrists, you can make it bigger or smaller. But so this is the way the sleeve will fit. It's a very full, and she loves it. I sent her, when I got about this far into it, I sent her a picture. I'm like, before I get it all the way up, I need to know if you really like this. And she's like, I love it. So it's nice and fat. So I thought it would be nice if you're wearing like a turtleneck or a long sleeve shirt. It'll fit over things. So because there's nothing worse than, if your sleeves being all tight, and she just likes the look.
We have an aunt that loves wearing sweatshirts over t-shirts. That's what she does instead of jackets.
Yeah.
I mean, she has coats, which she sometimes will wear over both of those.
Yeah.
But
that's
I never understood the sweatshirt over a t. I cannot. If I'm going to wear a sweatshirt, that's all I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Well, but it's really nice with layers, because then you can
layer
take
that
on
up.
and put off.
And this yarn, I didn't realize it when I bought it. It's a single ply, which it's just one twist. It isn't twisted back on itself like that. It's actually kind of a very loose yarn and has kind of fuzzy and splitty, but it's nice, and I'm really happy, because she kind of wanted, she's like, well, what about a really big oversized sweater? I said, I want to make you a big oversized sweater, actually, in bulky yarn. I said, but right now I'm using you as my guinea pig to really practice making a sweater with no pattern. Again, I did it once for my dad, and now I want to do it and that was with kind of bulky yarn, and so now I want to do it for her with a finer yarn, and just to see how, if I can make something and have it really fit well. So it's going really well. I've been going gangbusters. I was really excited to get all those inches on the body of the sweater done, and so I started on the sleeve, and it's going pretty well. I don't know the inches I'm doing yet to go past the elbow. I just keep trying it on. Her arms are not that much different than mine, but once I get here and I decide it's time to start the decreases, I'm going to put a marker so that when I make the second sleeve, I can count the number of rows and make sure that they're the same. Because and I realized I didn't count my cuff. I measured the cuff to 2 inches, but I didn't count so I need to count those, just because you don't want to make a second sleeve that's doesn't match in length. Yeah,
that's the joke when you see it in movies and TV.
Yeah, they always like, oh, one sleeve's way longer than the other. But so anyway, I'm really pleased with this. That's how it's going real well. A couple of other things. I did cheat on my sweater once last night because I had to mail an empty violin case to my daughter. Her violin case is not keeping her violin very warm this year, and that's a whole story I'm going to tell you about later. But her quartet at school, they had to come up with a name because they're in a workshop for late Beethoven quartets, and it's just like a specialized program within the school, and so they have a big performance in December. So they had to come up with a name for their quartet, and they couldn't think. And I guess it was her suggestion, and they all liked it just because it sounds pretty. They went with merino, which is a type of wool, right? So I was like, why don't you just go with Rambouillet? Like, it's kind of like the sheep. And she's like, yeah, I mean, who cares? It sounds pretty. And I'm like, it's true. So I'm like, well, I'm going to have to knit you a sheep. So, real quick, I remembered I had this book. It's called Mini Knitted Farmyard. And, I think I don't know how to say her name. Tsuchiyo Ishii. I think she's Japanese. Yeah, she's Japanese. And she wrote this book, and I guess she has a whole ton of other books. Mini Knitted Safari, Christmas, Toys, Woodland, Ocean, Toys to Knit. Like, ooh, look at the ocean one. Ooh. So anyway, she's got all these books. And I bought this, I think I got this at Bookman's? No. Maybe it was just at Joann's or something in their book section. Anyway, I fell in love with it. And it's got, so this is all farm stuff. And the reason I bought it was because of the sheep. Now, they suggest using bulky, like nubby, bulky yarn, which I didn't have. So I just used some superwash wool. And here's the photo of my finished sheep. He had little black eyes, and I put a nose and mouth on him. And he's just about, I guess it's a you, right? She's just about like the size of my hand. And
so where's my frog?
Your frog is a one-legged frog. It's still in the bag. But
somebody ate his other leg.
Speaking of cheating, on projects, yeah, no, I haven't worked on the frog. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But I was going to finish for your birthday, and at your birthday time, everything went upside down.
I know.
Yeah.
So anyway, but so I made a little sheep, and the reason I don't have the sheep with me today is because I put it in the case and I put it in the mail, or the FedEx, very expensive FedEx box. Anyway, but I wanted to show you this book. It's really cute. It's published through searchpress.com. So if you want to look it up, it's called Mini Knitted Farmyard. And there's all kinds. There's pigs, cats, turkeys, chickens, sheep. They even have she even has here, look, I don't know if you can see here, like a patchwork farm land, like crops. Look how cute.
Oh yeah.
So,
but those would be so cute to knit that little farm for a child to play with.
It's got a little barn and a farmhouse.
Because then when you step on their toys, they don't hurt.
Yeah, yeah. It would be really cute. Yeah, for a whole. See, and here's the farmhouse. You can make a farmhouse. You can make the whole thing. And she even has like little fruits and vegetables that you can knit. Like, so yeah. See, here's a vegetable cart with all the veggies. So cute. So I've always loved miniatures. So this really appealed to me a lot. And then the other thing I have to talk about. Remember last week I talked about Arne and Carlos's stockings. Well, guess what they came up with? They came out with 2022 stocking, and it is gorgeous. Let me pull it up here. Come on, iPad. What are you doing? Why are you doing me like this? The iPad was sideways and it wouldn't switch.
I always think when I bumped
that happened to me with that one. That happened to me with that one. I had to turn it off and turn it back on.
Okay, now it's behaving. There's 2 patterns I bought with the 2022 pattern release. This is a hat and mittens. Hang on. I can't. Oh, hang on. I don't want to do that. Here's a quick picture of the hat. It's a color work hat, and they use Rowan yarn. Let's see if there's a nicer picture I can zoom in on. You can kind of see it here. It's very pretty. I really like the colors, and I don't know what color I'm going to make it in, obviously. But it also comes with these Norwegian style mittens, the pointy mittens, which I like. See? So that's that one. And then I bought the 2022.
I'm sorry.
Christmas.
I think my Amazon package that was at Dutch Bros a little while ago is here now.
She was following it.
I was tracking my package. They said, track your package. It's almost here. And I looked at the little dot for them. They were across the street at Dutch Brothers. Probably took them that long to get through the line. Huh?
Right, exactly. Oh yeah, here's the 2022.
That's what she's barking at.
Christmas stocking.
Oh, that's cute.
It's called Selbu, which is a style, a Norwegian style knitting. So that I bought that one. I was like, I kind of like the one with the house. Kind of maybe not want that one, but this one will replace that one. Let me see.
Looks like a sock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's huge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a Christmas sock.
Yeah.
Of course, that's technically
what
what they're supposed to be, right?
I was gonna say.
Yeah. So
you know, when I was reading all those Jo Nesbo books, I always felt like I could understand Norwegian.
But you can't.
All the place names.
There are some words though that like Arne and Carlos say that are so similar.
Yeah, it's because English is partly a Germanic language.
See, this was from 2019.
They have all those roots.
I wish I showed these last week.
Yeah, I remember them. But that one looks skinnier.
Yeah, more like a long sock. But so those are my 2 new patterns I bought that I'm gonna make someday, one day.
Have you ever seen Wallander?
Yeah.
No. Does that take place in
I think it's
Norway?
I think it's in Sweden, but I'm not sure.
No, I don't think it's Sweden.
I don't know. One of those Nordic places.
I don't know, but a lot of times I'm stuck on those subtitles.
Oh.
You know, and I had to stop watching it because I can't read subtitles in Stitch. She knocked the cane down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so that's the stuff I'm working on, and I think I'm done for now. So that's me.
I have a giant pile, so Beth should go next.
Yeah. You get me.
Oh, Beth, we should maybe we should move something.
Maybe
in your face. Gotta cover Beth up, but it's a little ridiculous.
I lost my needle minder. I knocked it off.
Oh, by the way, I decorated this with needle minders and scissor fobs mostly.
So many of these things are for sale on
the stuff that we had, like the little pumpkins and stuff. She bought this cute little Halloweeny looking tier tray.
Yeah.
Nothing fits on it. It's too small. So I decorated it with scissor fobs and needle minders.
That's all right. It works.
But we can pick that up and move it.
Okay. I'm going to pause.
Yeah. So, I've been working, just the last few days on my my second WIP-GO thing. The first one was the, I'm about to pull this thread out. The heck. I have kind of a longish.
Happens to me.
Does anybody mind if I take my wig off?
No, go ahead.
It's squeezing my brain.
Oh yeah. So like I said, I
This is actually my husband's. I borrowed it from him.
That cat costume that I used, for the orchestra had a little, nose pincher thing with whiskers on it, and I actually had to cut away part of that thing because it was just basically a rubber circle, hard rubber circle with a slit.
Oh no!
And it was really it's like wearing clip-on earrings or something.
Those noses that you can buy to support something, they're little red noses.
Oh
It's I'm sorry. No.
But so I had to cut, and it was still very pinchy. Yeah. Except. Okay, so this is my Christmas towel. I'm almost done with it. I have 1.5 or one partially done reindeer, and this one has to be backstitched.
Oh wow!
And then I'll be done with the basic backstitching, and then I still haven't. I've kind of decided how I want to do some kind of reins to connect them. I just haven't. Quite done it yet.
You could get some of that thicker. You could get some of that thicker.
Like shiny stuff.
No. It's. They
Pearl
sell
cotton?
it in the You could get some of that and just loop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see this.
Except for that, it would be hard to use it because
It'd be hard to wash it.
Yeah. So, I had thought about. Using something like Etoile, because it's a little sparkly. But then I thought, because of the same reason that, I want it to be not necessarily, you're, gonna put your grubby hands all over it, but, you want to put it in the wash every once in a while. So, it's going to be bad enough that because on the back of this section, you got some, and I've been trying not to carry threads too much, but it's it's gonna be
nice,
delicate, and so it's almost done, and my goal is to finish it, and so I have until the 31st technically to finish it. So, but I should, if I am diligent, I should be able to get the backstitching, the basic black backstitching done today.
Nice.
And then I just have to put in the reins and it'll be done. So that's my WIP-GO, second WIP-GO project for October. And so yesterday we were running around and because one of the things I wanted to get was, so we're out running errands what I wanted to get was some just cheapy plastic hangers because I had a couple that I had broken, so I was thinking, well, and there's a dollar store, it happens to be right next to Joann's, so I wanted to go to the dollar store to see if I could find what I wanted there, but they didn't have what I wanted, so I bought a couple of cheapy cat toys while I was there, but then I went over to Joann's. And because I knew I wanted to get, this is this DMC fabric, 28 count Carolina linen. So it's kind of like a sand color, I want to say. And this is what I had. I want to do those Year in the Woods patterns. And what I did for the ones that I dyed fabric for is it's this color. It's not a white fabric, but I think it's this Carolina linen thing. dyed in one of my green dyes. So and it comes out a kind of a nice, you know.
I'm sorry, I missed what pattern?
The Year in the Woods animals. So I went to buy these, and when I was in there, I thought, look at their etoile, because one of the, I guess it was last month, WIP-GO calls. One of the patterns was Running with the Wind, one of my ship patterns, and I had been looking at the thread list on there, and for one of the things it had like a blended combination of like a DMC thread and a Krynic color, and I thought, well, you know, it might be easier to use etoile with a thread rather than Krynic. Excuse me. So I didn't know if I had the right etoile color or whatever, because I have some, but I don't have all of them. And I know at Joann's they had a very nice selection of etoile. At Hobby Lobby they have some, but not all of them. Excuse me. And at Joann's I think they had more of them, you know, more to choose from. So I thought, well, you know, as long as I'm getting fabric, I'll just, you know, take a look at them. And they don't have any of them. They took them all out, and they have like some, I guess it's a wool thread by DMC. They have, you know, these skeins of wool, and they.
Who is this, Joann's?
Yeah, at Joann's they had like maybe a dozen, maybe 15 or 20 of these wool colors. And I guess they're in the 7,000s. The one I looked at was 7,000 or 7,000 something. So I don't know what you would use them for. Maybe if you did like latch hooking, something like that. I don't know if you would use if you would take them apart. Maybe punch needle. But they're pretty thick for punch needle.
So there's a other kind of punch needle that has a bigger needle.
So you know they have the thing I like about Joann's is, I mean, I don't like their accessories or whatever. Like they charge a lot more for a pair of scissors or, you know, little things like that. But they have a good thread selection. So they have like all of the DMC threads, you know, I think, and they have like some of the satin threads, and they have the two sizes of pearl cotton, like size 8 and size 5, and they even have a display of anchor spools, and they have like Coloris and all this other, you know, out of the ordinary DMC threads. And like I said, they had a very good selection of etoile, you know, and now all the etoile is gone, so I was very disappointed. But
are you sure DMC still makes it?
Oh yeah. But anyway, so
because last time when they took out numbers, it was because DMC just stopped making it.
Yeah, but I don't think etoile. If they were gonna discontinue anything, I think they would discontinue Coloris or something like that.
Was the spot still there?
No.
Oh.
So anyway, I was, you know, kind of slightly disappointed in that, but I got the fabric, so. And actually, if they had another one, I would have bought another one. They only had 2. But then I had forgotten, but Eve had told me that the WIP-GO calls
the 27th.
For November were given, and so my upcoming projects for WIP-GO are I think they're 12 and 24. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe this is 12. This is on the balcony. That
You're not showing the picture.
I know. That
Don't show the pattern.
Well, this is if anybody can read this pattern from here,
Put
good,
it down. Doesn't
good for
matter.
you. But so anyway, this is my one of my favorite pictures that I took of my cats, and this is like slightly better, but it's
From that far away, it looks decent.
Yeah.
When you're looking at it like this, I just printed it from. Sorry.
so. So this is one of the WIP-GO calls for November. This is a picture I took of my two cats on the balcony of my apartment in Little Rock. So there's Puck, and down here is Snug, and Puck was sitting on my little dining table, and Snug was sitting out on the edge of the balcony. And I had a chair there. And I took this picture like in the evening. It was one of my favorite pictures. But so Eve made it into a pattern for me, and I barely did a start on it. I don't even know when I started it. But so all I did was just a little bit of the kind of post thing, on the side of it. This is Monaco fabric that I think I just like coffee tea dotted or something. So so you could just see the outline of Puck's head on this. So I'm looking forward to working on that.
And this picture, it looks like black rail posts, but they're actually like a teal blue. I don't know why the picture there looked black, but I printed the picture so fast from something that I wasn't really paying attention to.
And the other call was this Daily Walk in the Woods. This is by Carol Manning Designs, and this was a SAL. I want to some time ago. I don't remember, like 2017, 18, something like that. But the problem I had with this one is that I oriented the pattern wrong on the fabric. Should have been this way, but instead it's this way. So this is basically the top of the pattern. There might be, like a few lines more, up here. But so it's very, skinny. I think it would still work, but it's yeah. And the question is the bottom ones, because there's a big tree here that it might go all the way to the bottom.
But if you had a center start on that, if it's close on the top, it'd probably be about the same on the bottom.
Yeah. So yeah. So it's pretty far along, but I just kind of lost my mojo on it because there's just I don't know. It's a lot of stuff.
Because
probably
you're not
when
a
you did it,
person.
Well, also when she got it oriented wrong. I know with that little tiny one was like, and it's kind of hard to keep working on something when you're disappointed that it's not right.
I have a little octopus needle minder that I bought from someone at Stitch Nanigans.
Are you doing it by motives, or are you still trying to do color completely?
By motives, I think, mostly, yeah, on this one. I just kind of like, meh.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You can get to a good stopping point when you finish with your WIP-GO, and we can just finish it from there. Mm-hmm. Like Vanna Pfeiffer did that with a lot of her things.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how it looks. Because really, if you're, however you're finishing it, unless you were like framing, well, even if you're framing it, a lot of people have done where they like just take a piece of generic fabric and sew it on the top of the bottom to make it like, to give you a little bit more seam allowance.
Yeah,
so
I wasn't talking about that.
I know. I'm just saying that you, if I wanted to frame it, if I needed to, I could add a piece of fabric to the top or the bottom
Yeah.
So that if the stitching went all, you know, very close to the edge, you have enough fabric on the top of the bottom to make a, either to put it in the frame or to, you know, whatever, so you have, you know, some leeway.
What I meant was, if after you work on it this time you're like, I really don't want to finish this, you can fully finish it.
Yeah, I know.
With what you have left.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that one of the things that you can do when you're at the edge like that is to just add fabric, and, you know, to if you're going to frame it. So does Mark watch this?
No,
okay,
are you
good.
kidding?
I didn't.
He only makes snide comments about what he thinks we ought to talk about, but he doesn't watch it. So no, he's not going to hear any.
So this is a quote that Mark liked, and Naomi said, "Hey, if you want to do something for him for Christmas, you know, you can do this." So it's a little, you know, it's hard to see. I'm going to take it
because he told me I'm going to make something to put on my desk, and I was like, "No, Beth could do that."
So in this picture, it's kind of hard to tell because it's you know, it's just a white background. It didn't give the fabric, you know, the background a color, and it's got these little sheep on it that are white, and so they don't, you know, they don't show up. And here they show up as little disembodied heads and legs.
Oh, funny.
But so the quote is, not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted. And this is a quote by William Bruce Cameron. He's
often attributed to Einstein, but Einstein, I guess, did not say it.
Yeah. Cameron said it. So, but anyway, so I did a peacock because you can count the feathers on a peacock.
Uh-huh.
And I did a whole bunch of sheep because, as Naomi said, you know, a lot of times you count sheep, right? So if you're going to sleep, you're not counting the sheep. You start off counting the sheep, and then you lose track of them. So anyway, that was my thinking. But so really, there's not a whole lot of stitching. The sheep individually, you know, there's stitching in the sheep, and on this little peacock that I did. And the rest of it, the quote itself is backstitched, and then they're just, you know, stitching around the frame, the borders. So,
but he loves that quote because he does. He works with statistics in his current job. So
anyway, that was I basically designed it yesterday. I spent all day designing it and
come here,
finished it.
Come here, honey.
So,
Rogue, come here.
So I think that's, you know, most of what I've been doing this week has been just stitching on these reindeer. As I got close to the end, I'm going to finish it. So
yeah, that looks good. No, I think he'll like that.
Yeah. So that's me. And I'm going to take this helmet off because it's hotting me. If I can.
Where do I start? Too much. Okay. I'll start with this. I have a finish.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So that's lots of Jolly Berry from Holly Jolly Christmas. And so I'm going to put this...
Take these off too. Sorry. I'm catching everything on these gloves. These are my cycling gloves.
Oh, I shouldn't be singing Christmas songs yet. It's Halloween.
My mom used to tell us this great Halloween story that she would use little felt pieces and put them up on a little felt board.
Flannel graph.
Here she sits and here she spins.
I don't remember that.
Someone to come in.
And now Naomi sits. One day you're going to be sitting and spinning, and he's going to come in.
Ooh.
So I'm going to put this piece on my WIP-GO board for next year. So 2 down, 1 to go. I could keep working on it and start on this one, but I'm not going to. Because I will show you why in a minute, because it's buried and I can't show you right now. So, my God, I have too much piled here. I've done more work on the little scarecrow dude. So I'm done with the scarecrow. There's some leaves above him, which I haven't started on. There's a little squirrel. Is that a little squirrel? So I don't know what these little swirly things are, but I'm going to put those on. And then I'm going to do the outline of this red thing. So Happy Fall Y'all has a fill-in of red. And the words are not red. They're, I don't know, the color is hair or something. And it's coming along really fast. And I really like the way that it's looking. I think it's going to look really good. This fabric is great. Mm-hmm. The little mouth isn't on there yet. It's the color of this, so when I start working with that color again, I'll put it on. So that's my last autumn berry, but I couldn't resist starting on the nativity berry. I have a lot of berries. Just starting on this nativity berry, a very small finish.
I mean, a small start.
Yeah. I started I had just a little bit of this, so this is basically just 2 days work. Right now, this is what are these called? Halos? Whatever these things are around their heads. What are these called?
A dinner plate.
Pie plate.
Whatever. So forever, I guess. His dad did it and my husband does it. Picks up a plate and puts it behind his head like that. All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
His family's Jewish. I don't want to work on that right now because it's like a lot of counting. You know, because you go from here and then count up. And go. So I was like, I would just mess it up. So what a weird thread. Why is that there? I don't know. Anyway.
Did it go the other way?
It goes this way.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So.
Because I was looking at it going, aren't you going to run out of fabric? I was looking at this going, it's not wide enough for a berry.
I don't know. There's a weird thread. So on the picture, when you see a weird thread, I'm sorry. So the Holly Jolly, the Lots of Jolly Berry was my WIP-GO challenge. It was the second one. I finished the first one earlier this month. And so since I have both WIP-GO things done, I pulled this out. This is my own design called The Greatest Story. I'm doing it in a long row instead of like this. It's basically Christmas ornaments with the
Christmas story.
With the Christmas story on it. Yeah. So I'm going to be working on this for at least until the end of the month. Hopefully I'll work on it longer and get it done because it really should be done. I really like it. And for WIP-GO in November, I have the Christmas Lantern by Twin Peak Primitives.
Oh, I remember that.
And I'm going to be doing it on this DMC metallic Ada. It's gold metallic. I think it'll look really pretty. I've been wanting to work on this and I've been just working on so many other things. I bought it last June or July. June probably. Yeah, I've been wanting to work on it that much. And then the other WIP-GO call was the When Witches Go Riding, but I was working on that last month. So this month I am going to be working on what had actually been called before, which is Cute Boots by X's and O's.
That's cute.
Yeah. It says, when life is stormy, put on a pair of cute boots and dance in the rain.
That's cute.
And the duck is just absolutely adorable.
I saw that. I was like, what pattern is that with that little face? It's so cute.
And all I have so far is his face.
That's
Now,
so cute.
I have to say, and I dyed this fabric myself, this is 28 count even weave. When I started on this, I had never worked on even weave. And I really enjoyed working on it. But because I found that I enjoyed working on even, well, enjoyed is not the right word. It wasn't intimidating anymore. I got doing so many other things that I forgot poor little ducky here.
So cute.
Yeah, I love him. He's so cute. And that brings me to what I'm working on right now is I'm working on the pin pillow here of the sewing bee. And I didn't have much work on it since the last time I showed you, but I've been working on this since I've been sitting here, so I have a little bit more done. And hopefully, by the time we get done, I have very few things left to do. I have to write the word bee, and then I have another smaller flower like the ones up here, and then one big flower. That's it.
Nice.
And plus the thing I'm doing right now. So, as you remember, last week I talked about this Calico Cats pattern, and that I had decided to make them all top cats. And so I sewed them all. And I started sewing them together to, this is the first row of cats. Let's cover up Beth.
Must cover Beth.
Here's the first row of cats.
That's cool. That looks so nice.
I like it. I really like it. However, and I was, you know, I have all the...
Everyone always has a big butt.
I have all the sashing done. I have these picked for doing the cornerstones and everything.
Cute.
And so...
Is there supposed to be sashing between the cats? Oh, there is.
There is.
Oh, I missed it. Sorry.
Okay, so I sat down to lay out all the cats. And as I was doing that, and I did that with these two, I laid them out. And I just made sure they were square before I, you know, put them in the line. And I found two that I was like, not only are they not square, and you know, you can just cut it to where they're all the same, but then I would have to cut all of them and undo all the stitching that I did to put that row together.
What's wrong with them?
Well, not only were they, well, it was just two, not tall enough because of something. The not tall was like this. So part of it was tall enough and the rest was, I'm like,
oh no,
surely I didn't cut it that wrong, you know?
No.
So
do you have enough fabric to fix them?
Oh, I looked at the stitching, and it was the stitching that was off on it, the sewing. So I had some seam ripping to do.
Jack the Ripper came out?
Yeah. It was enough that I had to take it over there and do it sitting down over there. But I have it all seam ripped. I know what I need to do to, you know, to fix it. Some of it is just going to be making a just slightly smaller
seam allowance?
Yeah, the thing.
I'm here to provide all the words that they keep forgetting they're saying.
Well, I have to say that's happening to me more and more often these days. But there was one where one side of it was correct, one side of the seam was correct, but the other one was off by like that much. It just was. It started right and it just went. I was like,
"What?
Oh, that is never going to work." And then I was tootling around. I remember why I was looking on the Zuri Stars website.
Dangerous.
Remember last week I said I have more coming in.
Yeah.
These were, I think, $5 each.
Oh, is that jeans? Like denim?
No,
Oh.
no, they're just different. They're beautiful, aren't they? Just
Oh, wow.
they're paisleys and leaves and
Just blue on blue. Oh, how
blue,
pretty.
all just blue on blue. Had I had this, and now this pattern called for 2 of these, and I used one. What is the word I want to use?
Layer cake?
Yeah, I used 1 layer cake instead of 2 charm packs. So I had a lot of cutting to do, but it calls for 2 charm packs. These are all the same color. So hers, it was all different colors. That's why they looked calico. They were different, right?
Those are pretty.
I'm sure I can find a pattern that calls for 2 beautifully blue.
I have a pattern that I made in blacks and yellows. That would look good with white. With if you just bought 2 white ones.
Yeah. And you know,
I think it was only 2 of
so
each.
this cost me
$10.
$15, $10 plus shipping. And I had quilter's cash. So I was like, I'll get that. You can only buy 2 at their, that was the daily deal. You can only buy 2 at those.
Those are beautiful.
I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to use them. It doesn't matter. I had to hop on that.
Yeah.
And then I was at Walmart looking for a larger.
You wake up at 3 a.m. to see the daily deal. That's what I used to do. Sorry.
No, I was looking for something else, and it was probably about that time of day. I had this, which I wanted to finish. This is a previous finish from a year ago. It's What's in My Cup. I can't remember what it's called exactly, but it says thankful on it. And I wanted to finish this before this Thanksgiving. Because in spite of the bad year, things happening, I am thankful about so many things.
Is it the Stitching with the Housewives?
Yeah, it's a Stitching with the Housewives pattern. But this is the size of this, okay? This little guide. Barely fits on there. So I was like, then I wouldn't be able to put any other fabric around it.
Yeah.
And it would be okay. But I was looking for a slightly bigger pumpkin. I think I bought this at Hobby Lobby. Did I go look at Hobby Lobby? No, I did not.
It's also dangerous. Like, oh, I can use this. Oh, I can use that. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was at Walmart looking for that. Of course, they had no flat pumpkins whatsoever. But they did have this poinsettia fabric. It's a 1 yard cut, I think. Yeah. And they had these fat quarters. This is poinsettias. This is poinsettias and trucks, I think. It's hard to see.
Like the little red truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From last year.
And there's some denim. Not denim.
Flannel.
It's not really flannel. It looks like flannel. And some words. I don't know what these words are, but I liked the color. And this
It could say something absolutely horrible.
It says joy,
Oh,
love.
just kidding.
and these are sweaters.
Those are cute.
I understand that those are things that people wear in other climates.
Christmas sweaters. Cute.
And socks. Those see the little socks. Anyway, I don't have any plans for this, just like the blue things. But they jumped in my cart and I let them stay there. So I'm trying to get this stuff out of my way and it's falling. Okay, let's put it here. So then, as we said, we went to Joann's and the Dollar Tree. Now, Joann's, I looked around, no flat pumpkins and nothing else that I decided. I was like, I am not spending any more money. But at the Dollar Tree, I found this pumpkin. So this little dude will look great on it.
That's cute.
Yeah. He's I have him upside down now, don't I? So this pumpkin has these grooves in it, which I will deal with, and I'll have to paint it. But you know, Thanksgiving isn't for 25 days, something like that. So I have some time. And while I was looking at that, I saw this little acorn. Looks like a napkin holder, but it's not. I supposed you could roll them up and put them inside. There's a little.
You could put a light in there.
Oh, not in wood. I don't think. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
like you know, like
Oh,
one
little battery
tea lights.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I could.
It's got a crack on it.
No,
No,
it's
it's
just it's just a little thingy.
Oh.
That's all right. I didn't
might
notice
be
it when I
cracked.
bought it. It's not cracked. It's not cracked. It's grooved, but I didn't notice it when I bought it because I ran back and got this one instead of what I had. Anyway, I'll deal with it. I've dealt with stuff like that before. This is
Balsa wood. Or whatever.
yeah, it's very thin wood. So I have those, and I said, but I need some ribbon because I saw a lot of ribbon there, and I have tons of ribbon. And more ribbon than I know what to do with. But I bought this ribbon. Leaves.
Is it wired?
Yeah, it's wired. This
That's pretty.
leaves
Very pretty.
and this platy
Oh,
fall thing. And the reason I did, and they're wide, they had thinner ones. The reason I did was because, as you remember seeing this little broom.
I just have to interject, Eve.
What?
Your dog is right there in the hallway, staring at us, waiting for us to say BYE. Because every time we say, okay, BYE, BYE, she comes running from the room like, they're finally done. But she's standing there staring at us like, are they done yet? Are they done yet? Which must be how you feel every week. But, sorry, I just had to interrupt you because it's so funny. She's standing there just... Are they going to say it? Are they going to say it? Oh, so funny. Sorry.
So I got these. I'm going to make a bow that's going to go right here. And so it'll be a Thanksgiving broom. It'll replace that wreath that you see right over there. And then at Christmas, I'll put 2 Christmas ribbons or, make some Christmas ribbon bow. It'll be a Christmas broom. But it'll be just be, where I can put it on and I can take it off. Because then next Halloween, I have just a Halloween broom.
Very good.
So, ribbon. Now, the Dollar Tree anymore is not everything for $1. They have so many craft items now. Unbelievable amount of craft items now. And but they've got they've got them kind of sort of clearly marked. It's $1.25 or $1.99 or $2 or $3 or $5. But the selections are really good. They've got some really cute stuff. So that was everything that I had, except I have a little story about the duck that you see in front. So when my son was in high school, I went grocery shopping, and the Peeps have always been a thing. My son liked Peeps. I don't. Her husband likes Peeps.
In general, men like Peeps. I don't know. I don't like them.
I don't like them.
I can eat like one a year.
He doesn't eat tons and tons of them, but he does like them. And as I was shopping, all the Peep stuff they had 4th of July Peeps. And on that display, they had a whole bunch of Peep ducks that had 4th of July things. The one I chose had little flags on the side. And I just love this duck. And I had it in my car, like in the middle, in the dash. And that's where it's at. And when he turned 16, not because he turned 16, after he got a job and his driver's license and was working, I gave him a car so that he could go to all of his extracurricular activities, which he was always late for because he had to wait for me to come home so he could use the car. And shortly after that, my duck disappeared. I saw it in his car. I said, "Why do you have my duck?" He said, "It's my duck." I said, "No, it's my duck." And he said, "No, it's my duck." But I didn't keep a key to his car. I don't know why, because I'm stupid. Anyway, I just let it go. The duck was in his car. After a while, the duck disappeared.
Oh, no.
He gave it to one of his girlfriends.
Oh, no.
Well, she said she liked it. Yeah, I liked it. It was my duck. Anyway, when I saw this duck, I was like, I wonder how long he'll let me have that.
The Halloween duck? The skeleton duck?
His skeleton duck.
Cute.
He hasn't seen it because I've made sure to keep it hidden. But just, it reminded me of that entire... And I still keep looking for another patriotic duck like that.
That's funny.
They had, I have that duck that I have in the bathroom, that little yellow duck. But I got it at the, I don't know, but it used to be the Excelsior, and I think it's the Doubletree, or it used to be the Doubletree, and now it's the Excelsior in Arkansas, in Little Rock. But we were doing I think we were doing a gig there or something, because I was hanging around, you know, the hotel, and I think I got something to eat or something. But anyway, they had a little display there with all these ducks, because they have the duck flotilla thing where you buy it's for charity, I guess. You buy a duck. And then, like...
If your duck wins...
if your duck wins, yeah.
They do that here in the canals.
Yeah, but so they put them all in the river,
race.
and they, you know, yeah. And, but so they had all kinds of different ducks and with different costumes and, you know, whatever. So I got a duck with a scuba mask.
Oh, cute. Oh, my gosh. So,
But I don't have a son who gave it to his girlfriend.
So... stories. What's the matter?
I'm drying my hands.
Just lotion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you waving at me? What are you doing? I was gonna borrow lotion today. My hands are gross. What was I gonna say? Oh, so, you know, I had this loop recorder placed 2 weeks ago. It's been 2 weeks. Got my bandages off. Everything looks good. I'm off lifting restrictions now, mostly. And last night I had my first nightmare about it. In my nightmare, so it's a implantable loop recorder. It's a heart monitor. It goes right here. And in my dream, I was standing there and I was moving it around, and I could feel it and like pushing it, and it was all the way over here. And I was like, I kept moving it. I'm like, why? It's moving. But I kept moving it to see if it would move. You know how you do those things? And then I was like, stop messing with it. You're making it worse. Stop messing with it. And I was all grossed out and everything. And I woke up this morning and I'm like, oh, it was a dream. It made me nervous. Like, I messed it up. And I was thinking like how, you know, like under a turkey when you're like going to put sage leaves or something under the skin or whatever, you can separate the skin from the muscle, and then it's separated forever, right? So then the pocket just grows and grows as you push it. That's kind of what I was imagining, which is really gross, and so I was all grossed out by it.
So I have a couple of stories that are both medical related. The first one being that a friend of ours that we went to from grade school with still lives in New Mexico. And she lives in Albuquerque. Now, the Albuquerque is about, I want to say an hour, depending on where you live, an hour and a half from Santa Fe. And she found out, and she has a lot of health issues going on, right? And she found out that
she's old like us.
Her insurance company has stopped contracts with anything in her area. So she called them and said, so where do I need to go to get a new primary and you know, that kind of thing? And they said, well, we're contracted with people in Santa Fe.
What insurance is this?
I'm like, she's supposed to drive an hour to go to the primary care doctor?
That's insane.
So
Yeah.
is it insurance through her work or something?
Maybe. I don't know.
That sounds insane.
But I was just like, she's like, I have to find insurance again.
Yeah.
And
That's no good.
I was like, really?
That is not. That doesn't even seem logical. Like,
And I was just like, I didn't even know what to say. I mean, I put a little carrying emoji, you know, because I'm like, what do I say to that? You know.
yeah, you need to find new insurance.
I don't know if she said I have to find a new primary care doctor or if I have to get new insurance, but she needs to get new insurance.
That's
I think
really true. That doesn't seem. But you know, I'm almost like stuff like that. You call back, get a different person, and you'll get a whole completely different answer.
Well, maybe. Because
that just does.
I called when I was working. I had insurance through my job because that was right when the Obamacare started.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were allowed to have insurance through your job, you were supposed to take that insurance. And I was paying through the nose, and they paid for
zero.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You didn't even get a nickel toward your primary care doctor until you reached $3,000. And that was the lowest. That was the lowest thing. And then after that, it was only 40%. So it was astronomical for me to pay for it, and then they covered nothing.
Wow.
And so I believe that her job could do it, because then they were just like, you can only see this person, and you can only, and it wasn't an HMO kind of thing. It was just, you had to see people in that network.
Yeah.
Right. And I just, you know, when you've got health issues going on,
That's really bad.
It's a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
To find,
and then you and you can't even, because you know.
but to ask you to drive an hour,
That's crazy. That's
with
somebody
the price
in some
of
other
gas
part of
right
the
now,
country that doesn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
price
that
of gas
is.
right now, yeah,
Yeah.
no. So the other thing was, I was, as we said, we were doing errands, and I needed to pick up some cat food, and hence my need to order cat food through. And we were over there at Joann's, and there's a Petco right there. So rather than going to Fry's or anything where I'd have to walk further, I thought, I decided to just stop there because I just wanted a couple of days worth of cat food until the one from FedEx could get there.
Amazon.
So I went to take a step out of the car and almost fell on the ground. My knee was just like, nope, not going to work today. Mm-mm. It took a good, minute or so before I could make another step. And I didn't have a cane or anything with me. And I know that my doctor had said, I want you to start using a cane now. You're a big fall risk. And I was like, when I was shopping in that store, I was a big fall risk. I would have gotten back in the car and not stopped, except the cat had this much food. Because my son didn't tell me until he had already given him the last of it.
Oh no.
It's like that story that Mom always told about Tim telling her when she came home from work at 4, oh, Mom, I need blue pants for orchestra concert tonight. Or band concert tonight. Or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like, what?
Talking about
Well, we lived far from anything. Yeah.
Talking about legs not working. Last night I went to bed, and of course here I should not be drinking this because I go to bed and I'm laying there, and it's the witching hour of cats where they're
Zoomies.
climbing on the treadmill and running
They always
around
do that
doing
in the
crazy,
middle of the
stupid
night.
stuff.
My cats wait till I turn the light off.
No, so this is what happens, and I realize what happens. If I stay up late, which I often do, knitting, whatever, the cats will sleep in the living room with me. Mm-hmm. And then when I get up to go to bed, they wake up. It must be morning. Mm-hmm. And I try to go to bed, and they're like, shh. So anyway, it was around that time. And I'm laying there, basically falling asleep finally. And all of a sudden, something stabs me with a hot poker in the back of my calf. I have the worst muscle spasm that I have ever had, even back when I was pregnant. So horrible. I get up and I'm crying basically, and Mark's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I couldn't even speak to tell him that I'm having a muscle cramp. And what I wanted him to do was come around and, like, you know how, like, if you push up on your toes, you can stop them. I couldn't even tell him that. Like, please. It hurt so bad, and it lasted a long time. And it, you know, I basically fell asleep with it still hurting. And you know how if you get one of those, you're almost afraid to stretch in bed. Like, if I stretch, it's going to happen again. And the other one kind of started to feel twitchy, too. And I was like, oh, no. So, went to sleep and completely forgot. And I wake up this morning and I go to get out of bed and I put my foot down and it's like I pulled a muscle. It hurts. It still hurts so bad. It's been like 12 hours now, or more than 12 hours. And I'm
So you figure that's from caffeine consumption?
I asked my doctor today. I was like,
yeah.
She said that no, from dehydration.
Yeah, not getting enough.
Because the medicine I'm on can make you dehydrated, she said, and so she's like, you need to make sure you're drinking enough. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I was told that too. So
when we were,
and I didn't tell her, oh, so I should not be drinking soda all day long. I do.
You're
drink
talking
water.
about it makes me thirsty.
I do drink water, but I don't drink enough. So.
When we went
nobody here in Arizona drinks enough water.
When we went to,
except maybe my son.
That women's retreat, Bible retreat thing in Prescott, I guess it was. We, you know, the little cabin thing where we were staying was pretty far from the meeting rooms and everything.
Was it in Prescott?
It wasn't. It was the other one. Anyway, so I can't remember where.
No, it was in Prescott.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But we were just doing a lot of walking, and I guess especially that the first couple of days, I guess it was a weekend, and maybe the first day or something. But so because of the stroke that I had, sometimes I get very very tense, and so I am, prone to muscle cramps, and so I have to watch my fluid intake, and so I try to sort of like maybe at night a lot of times I'll have like non-caffeine drinks, but hey, I'm drinking this all the time anyway, and so but like the first night, I think, that we were in this little cabin, we were in these little weird bunk bed things, and so I was getting a muscle cramp, and then so I was trying to because it was I couldn't straighten my leg out, and then I was getting one in the other leg, and so it was just it was horrible, horrible, and there was no position I could get in, especially on that weird bed. I couldn't really move around well enough, and I couldn't stretch it out. I couldn't do anything, and it was horrible. It was the worst I'd ever, because I get them often enough, and I can kind of try to move my leg and stretch it out a little bit or something, or put my foot down on the floor and lift my toes up or whatever. And but I could not even move, because every time I moved, it would cramp me all the way up my legs.
That's how it was last night.
Just
I couldn't
awful.
even speak. It was it was awful, really bad. But I hate that. I hate it. Oh my gosh.
So the doctor I went to see said, "How much caffeine do you drink?"
And you lied to him.
No, I told her. They said, "How much is your caffeine intake?" in the intake form. This was the first visit. And I, how many times a day or something like that, how many ounces or whatever. And I just put a lot. And so she's talking to me. She goes, "So how much really is your caffeine intake?" And I said, "A lot." And she said, "So you in a lot of pain?" I said, "Yes." And she said, "Stop drinking caffeine." And do you, I remember, I think I even said that when my dentist was fixing this tooth back here, I think I talked about it a week or two ago. He said the caffeine will make it worse.
Yeah.
And so
do we learn? Do we ever learn our lessons?
Well, I tried for a while. My dermatologist told me that caffeine excites the skin. She was Belgium. It was in Belgium, so her English wasn't her first language. And she always used to say, "Oh yeah, you're a Yank." I'm like, "No." She goes,
"No, I'm an ugly American."
And wow. She said, "Are you British?" And I said, "No." She goes, "Well, you sound British or like a Yank." I'm like, "No."
The United States is very big. Only a portion of them are Yankees.
And so, yeah, I was trying to explain it to her. But anyway, she used to tell me about caffeine. She goes, "Don't drink caffeine because it excites the skin." Because we were dealing with some severe rashes. And so I tried for a while. But the problem is, if you don't want sugar in your drink, if you're going to go through a drive-through or something like that, even Starbucks and all that, it's very difficult to get something that you want to drink that has no sugar.
Yeah.
Unless you buy water.
It has no caffeine. Yeah, it's just water.
I was going to say...
that means we need to just stop doing drive-through, right?
Right. Well, it's like, what's worse, joint pain or caffeine headaches? Joint pain or caffeine headaches? No, I know. And, my daughter's a violinist, and when she is approaching a really tough, season of, like, auditions or whatever, we really stress water. And it really helps to, or if she starts to get tendonitis, she ups her water intake, and it really helps. So it's like, why don't I get it? I have joint pain on the daily. I have, all these other issues. And I'm like, just hydrating myself would probably solve a lot of them. But I don't. I pretend and take my Hydro Flask full of Diet Pepsi to work. And everyone thinks I'm drinking water, and I'm not.
When I worked at Blue Cross, they gave us, every once in a while we'd have these health fairs and blah, blah, blah. And so they would give us like various swag, things. And so they gave us like these 32-ounce water cup things, right?
Nice.
So it's like a big mug, it's covered and whatever. But there was a Quiznos sandwich shop down on the ground floor of our building. So here's our door, and the Quiznos is right there. And so they were always giving us like discounts or whatever to buy food there. And one of the things they did was you could take that big cup and get it full of soda for 10 cents. 10 cents. So I would, it was horrible.
The devil called your name.
It was awful. But when the soda wars started back when I first moved to Little Rock, I was as poor as dirt, but you could get a 6-pack for like $1 or something.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so me and my friend Brandy, we used to. There was a store called Ike's, and they had like very cheap stuff all the time. So we would shop there, and like I said, you could get a 6-pack for $1 or something.
Wow.
but I was working at Mother's Day out, and I would drink a Diet Pepsi first thing in the morning, like people drink coffee. So I would drink a Diet Pepsi in the morning, and then I would have one
Hi, honey.
with my lunch, and then I would have one in the afternoon, and then I would have one in the evening with my dinner.
So you'd go through a 6-pack a day?
I would have one like late at night while I was watching TV or whatever.
That's the way I was in college too.
Yeah.
And I had a friend of mine that's like, you're gonna kill your electrolytes or whatever. And I realized, so like when I worked at the symphony before the last time I was there was a place across the street called Duck and Decanter, and you could buy one of their big cups with a screw. It was a plastic cup with a screw-on lid and a plastic straw. You could buy one of those for I don't know how much it was, and then you could go in every day and get their tea. You'd pay $1 in the morning, and you could go back as many times as you wanted and fill it. And we were right across the street, so we're like, I'm gonna go get tea. So I would drink. So I had stopped drinking soda and artificial sweeteners, and I was very happy. I was drinking tea, which also has caffeine, but I remember just feeling good about that. I really wasn't drinking soda anymore. And then when you got sick, you went in the hospital, and in the hospital there is nothing to drink except for,
water or soda.
Water or soda, and you go down to the cafeteria. You could get. You have soda machines, but you want to be, It was so I was like full on back to Diet Pepsi, and
for me,
and I never turned back.
When I wasn't really mom didn't have sodas in our house.
Right.
We had water or tea so when we moved, my ex-husband was in the service in the Air Force, and he was sent to Belgium. So in Belgium, you cannot drink the water. They even discourage cooking with it.
Wow.
It would leave a white residue on your dishes. It was opaque, and so it was one of the first orientation things that they did was say, don't drink the water here. It won't poison you. It's just not good for you. And so when you'd go to the PX, they would have a case of water. Now, the water was very precious because you had to use it for all kinds of things like cooking, the case of water, and I don't remember exactly how much they were, but let's just say it was $10. Now, it wasn't that much, but let's just say it was. And the case of soda, a flat of soda, right, was half as much. So we would get a flat of soda and a case of water. And a case of water had 12 bottles of water this high by this big around. So maybe a liter's worth of water in each one, and 12 of those. And so it was far cheaper for us to drink soda than it was for us to drink water. Now, that's not to say that we didn't occasionally drink the water, but we didn't like to waste it on drinking it because we needed it to, even just to boil a hot dog. Yeah. Because you didn't want to boil a hot dog and then see the side of the pan's all white. And you're like, ugh. So I came back drinking, and I only drank diet drinks there, but I came back addicted to soda in a way that I have never been able to not be. There have been times, the dermatologist, and that was there in Belgium, she would say, well, try to cut yourself off by putting half caffeinated and half non-caffeinated. And I did that, and for a while I got to where it was mostly uncaffeinated. But as you say, you get a headache. And
you have to get through it. If you really just like push through, you can feel better later, but it's hard.
And so I was telling Beth, I'm really going to have to go at not drinking so much soda for 2 reasons. Now, they cost a fortune.
Yeah.
And the reason that we have McDonald's here
Every week.
Because
it's $1.
is because here in, I don't know if it's everywhere, but I don't think it is in New Mexico when I've been there. Any size soda at McDonald's is $1. I bought a Happy Meal. They gave me a large drink. You know, because any size soda is $1. And so the Wendy's, it's like $3. You know, so it's cheap at McDonald's. But if you're buying cans or whatever, not so cheap. You can sometimes get them on sales. So I'm like, now this addiction is costing me. You know. And then with the doctor going, you really, if you want to just not be in pain, you're really going to have to.
It's so much better for your joints to not drink caffeine and to stay hydrated.
But the problem is, I hate the way the water tastes here.
Oh, yeah, no.
I cut back a lot from what I was telling you that I used to, how I used to drink it in Little Rock. I cut back at one point because I lost my voice, and I went like several weeks. I was babysitting these kids, school age kids, one summer. And we had gone to the water park, and we're screaming and yelling or whatever at the water park. And then that evening we had choir practice, and I was actually leading the choir practice because our choir director was out or whatever, and they had asked me to step in and so my voice was hoarse, and I was trying not to sing along, but you can't really. And so by the time we got to the end of rehearsal, I was talking like this, and then my voice kind of came back. But on Sunday, it was, kind of punky again. And so it got to the point where I couldn't sing. So I had dropped out of the choir for a while. And then even like in singing in the congregation, I couldn't sing. And so it was like the upper range of my voice was gone, so I was talking down here. And so I finally went, because I had gone to like an ENT person or whatever, and they finally sent me to a speech therapist because I wasn't getting any better. And I was trying not to talk, but I was teaching like 3-year-olds at Mother's Day Out, so you had to talk. And I had children's choir, so and just like I had it, I guess I had. But anyway, so I had these kids in children's choir and all this stuff. So I was like really hard to not talk, And but so I went to this speech therapist, and I guess she kind of was thinking, it was like a chicken and the egg thing, like she was thinking it was because I was talking down here that I didn't have a voice. And it was like, that's not really why, but but anyway, so but so that's when she was saying, well, you should probably cut back on the caffeine and all this stuff. So I kind of did at that point, but I think like just I don't know, more recently it's where I've gotten to where I just drink it all the time.
Yeah.
Which is bad.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've been trying to
drink because I
split it between non-caffeine.
Our filtered fridge water is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But so I can do that, and every once in a while I'll have a drink of water, and I'm like, life-giving water. Why didn't I drink more of this? Mark does. He drinks only water and tea.
You said for us to remind you about something.
Oh, speaking of caffeine. Okay, so today I was driving here, and I drove by this cafe that's a little ways away, and they had a marquee on the out front, and cafe is in their name, okay? And on the marquee, like a special advertisement, it said, free hot coffee refills, dine in only. And I'm like, that's like saying free oxygen in our restaurant. Like, of course you better have free hot coffee refills. Like, everyone since time began gives out free hot coffee refills.
If you buy a coffee, you're going to get all the refills you want.
Like, why are you advertising that like that's really special? Like, what? That's not an ad. That's like, that's so stupid. Like, I've never been there, and now I don't want to go because that's dumb.
Well, Beth and I, at some point, we were like, Dad said, pick up something on the way home. And we were near that cafe, and we said, well, they have a drive-thru. Let's just see what they have. Mm-hmm. We pulled in the drive-thru, and we looked at their menu and went, Dad will not eat any of this. And I was like, I don't think I will either. And, you know, it's not my thing. It was just not my...
But you would have gotten free hot coffee refill. Oh, no, dine in only.
Yeah, no. Especially with the Jamba Juice in the same parking lot, I have that. Now, if that had a drive-thru.
Yeah, really.
And they offer like free delivery often, you know, on their app.
Yeah.
And you get rewards for buying and all. It's a juice place, obviously, Jamba Juice.
It's a smoothie place. Frozen, like frozen smoothies.
But you know, I was gonna get that for breakfast one morning, and I was just gonna get one of those and a Belgian waffle. I'm addicted to Belgian waffles because I lived in Belgium. But and a Belgian waffle and that's not enough for the delivery. You have to buy this much. So I added another Belgian waffle. And I looked at it and I was like, do I want $20 worth of Jamba Juice?
Yeah.
No.
The other night, it's gotten crazy. The other night, Eli wanted to order food, and he was checking with me. It's this much. And food for one person from Burger King was going to put, was it $26?
$24, yeah.
And I was like, no, son, that is not good. I said, to put it in perspective, that's what I paid for you and I to eat lunch today. Like, because we met for lunch downtown. Like, do not. Because with the delivery fee and the tip and the, DoorDash, $26 for one person to eat Burger King. Like, no, baby, don't do that.
Yeah, I could understand if it was some kind of like expensive cafe or something like that, but not a burger joint. Yeah,
Burger King has gotten cray.
Well, the one near our house, the nearest one to our house, there was on our neighborhood app. It was posted that somebody's like, "Is that Burger King open? It always looks like it's closed." And somebody else said, yeah, I drove up there and there were signs on the windows and stuff that they were closed. And then somebody else says, I drove through there to lunch today. And everybody's like, but I tried to go there and there was nobody there.
Oh, wow.
Well, I drove through and I had food there. And so it's like they're randomly closed.
Oh, my gosh. Well, yeah, because you charge $10 for a Whopper. What are you going to do?
Yeah. And this new menu that they put out, I'm not attracted to any of those. So, and their drinks are not $1.
Yeah, exactly. But in general, their food is better.
Sorry, McDonald's. Yeah, it is. A long time ago, well, McDonald's food has gotten better. But anyway, a long time ago, you could not get a coupon for McDonald's. You'd get coupons all the time, in the mail and all that other stuff for many, many fast food places. No McDonald's coupons.
I am almost to the elbow.
But I have to say, McDonald's app is fantastic.
I never use it.
I get free food from McDonald's all the time. The reason I can get a free Happy Meal and a Diet Coke, and I've paid $1 something for lunch.
Nice, yeah.
But of course, in order to get the free food, you have to, spend money there.
Oh, no fair. I just got a email from work. Work email popped through. Pie time. There's pie in the kitchen. Come get us.
On the day you're not there.
But just yesterday when I was at work, I went in the kitchen and I was like, I wish there was free food in here. That was the mood I was in. And I'm like, no, there's free pie. I'm never going back there again. Oh, yeah, no, I'm going tomorrow. Tomorrow is, this weekend is Hocus Pocus, live film.
I was going to say.
I've never seen it, and everyone I talked to was like, you've never seen it? I'm like, no, I've never seen it.
I said, I've tried to watch it a couple of times.
But so, our pastor friend and his granddaughter and his kids are coming.
Oh yeah.
And his kids
Oh
are
yeah,
coming.
yeah. That was
They're coming Friday, and I promised him I would send him an email about restaurants. I sent him an email about parking, about where to park, but now I got to send him an email about restaurants. Speaking of restaurants, I have to go home and cook dinner.
Yeah, it's late.
I was going to say when you were talking about the Halloween concert that I sent you that email of the ASO. They're all in costumes.
Excuse me, you have a black thread on your shirt.
Oh yeah, it's this one that I'm working with.
Okay, but I thought maybe you didn't know because.
No, I'm.
I thought you were putting an empty needle through your thing.
No,
which you are.
I'm unstitching.
Oh. Yeah.
The back stitch.
I don't think the orchestra's going to dress up, but there's a costume contest for kids in the lobby, and I'm dressing up. I messaged. So if you look back a year ago, we put out a video with our costumes on, and I was wearing a gnome costume with a hat and beard. And I'm going to wear that in the box office tomorrow night. I'm only doing it tomorrow night. And I think Saturday I might just wear this shirt Saturday night. But
it was actually cold here.
Yeah.
The other night. Yeah.
It's turning fallish.
Yeah, it was 60 degrees.
I always mark the day on my calendar when I walk outside and the air is colder than my skin. That is like a red letter day. I circle it and put little stars on it because that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, I've actually, switched to my long sleeve pajamas.
I know. I slept in a sweatshirt the other night because, of course, it's not very cold outside, but I live with someone who likes to have an Arctic environment in the bedroom. I finally said, honey, I don't want you to turn it off, but can we please not have it at 100? Like, I'm dying. It's so cold in my bedroom.
100.
Just 100%. The fan. Like, all the way up, air conditioner on. I'm like, I'm dying. You are because the fan we have in our bedroom is really great in the summer because it is full. It's vast. But in the winter, we don't need it that high.
Yeah, Beth turned off her fan, but I don't turn mine off ever. But
our bedroom fan never turns on.
Yeah.
It's on all the time.
My bedroom fan is on. But I switched to a warmer pajama.
Well, in my room is very hot.
Yeah.
Very stuffy. But right now it's because I have my window open a little bit.
Yeah. But it's so nice.
Cold enough outside that at night.
I love the cold. We have a new employee that moved here from San Francisco, and he's still the mindset that he's never going to need a pair of pants. Like it doesn't get cold here because I think I wore my quilted jacket to work the other day, and he was like, "It's not really that cold here, right?"
To be fair, what we consider cold now after being here.
But I told him, I said the other day a photo came up in my memories where I was going home, and I was going to go ride the bus, and I remember I sent it to you. I'll put it here. I had worn my Sharon Show shawl to work, and I didn't bring my heavy coat. I think I just had like my denim jacket. And I remember that morning I had debated, should I take because I have this heavy coat, and I didn't want to look like an idiot because I'm like, it's Phoenix. And I bought it for New Mexico, right? But I was like, maybe I should take my heavy coat because it's cold. And I'm like, no. So I wore just my denim jacket, and I wore that shawl, kind of like a big scarf.
You finished your Sharon shawl?
The original Sharon shawl. Oh. The green and yellow and purple one. And brown one. That one, the original one, I finished. The Snarkometer I did not finish, and the Sharon Air I have not finished. But anyway, the original I did. So anyway, I wore it kind of like a big scarf, and I wore it in the office. And then, so on the way home, I was standing out waiting for the bus, and it was bitterly cold, and I wrapped that thing around my face, like to here, and I took a photo of myself, so I'll put it right here, because it was freezing cold. And, you know, you're in between the tall buildings, and there's no sun, and just the wind whipping through, so it does get cold in Phoenix. And
I was standing out talking to the pool guy on Monday, and I was like,
yeah.
and we know people are but you know, a $30 drop, a 30% drop in temperature is cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, we're talking 70.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But you know, it's 40s at night, 30s, you know.
60s, yeah.
But the other day we were we were at night, and Boston was in the day, but we were the same temperature, so it does get chilly.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have to go because I gotta go get ready for the evening.
Yeah.
But
so we've changed when we film. So we have, you know, greater time before this hits the air for y'all. So, but we're still gonna have a week of stuff between. But so
this week was short.
Yeah,
because of me.
Yeah,
it's all my fault
because we changed the days.
Because every Friday and Saturday of November I work a concert, except for the 4th. But yeah, it's crazy. November is going to be insane. So we decided to move to Thursday. I'm always off on Thursdays, so we're recording now, and
so there's a little bit of,
but not like we didn't have enough to talk about on a short week.
Yeah,
we had plenty to talk about. But yeah, so and stay tuned because if you'll notice, our numbers of the episode numbers are getting high.
Yes.
We're in the 90s now. Episode 90 something. Wonder this is 92?
Something
I believe.
like that.
And I am over 200 on my YouTube, which
200 subscribers or 200 episodes.
subscribers.
Oh, I'm talking about episodes.
I know.
Oh,
So I will be doing a giveaway on mine.
yeah. So you can find all of our YouTube channels in the link tree below. You can find Beth's and Eve's and our Etsy shop. But we're approaching our 100th episode, and we are in the planning works. So stay tuned. I'm not going to talk about it yet or tell you when exactly that will drop because that's part of the fun. So you can count. Anyway, so thank you so much for joining us. Happy Halloween.
Yay.
Be safe. Be good.
Eat candy.
Yeah. And send me some. No, I'm just joking. Don't say it. I just went to my doctor today. They would not appreciate that. But anyway, thanks so much for joining us. You have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.